Alright, let's jump straight away to the chase. One, hit like and subscribe. Ha ha ha. Got that out of the way. So, on to the unboxing of the BTC-S37. This thread is also going to function for kind of a repository of issues that I have about this board, things that I've found out. Like one issue I'm having currently is I have two mSATA drives and it's not recognizing either one of them. I mean, granted, they're off eBay, but the guy had good feedback and they're just not showing up in the BIOS. The little red light on it's on, so something's happening. I just don't know what. I don't know why they're not working. And also, I'm going to cover a little tiny error in the comments of why the watchdog was restarting my board, and that was because I did something dumb. So, I'll do the unboxing video right now, and then in the comments we're going to talk about this board because there's like little to no documentation out there for some of the finer details. So that's going to kind of serve, or this thread will kind of serve as that. So like and subscribe if you can do that. If if your mouse works and it'll go up to there and hit it, then you'll get notification when there's comments and stuff. So anyway, without further ado, unboxing BTC-S37. Alright, how should I open this little video? Something lame like, hey guys! Anyway, never waste time doing that for your audience. So what we have here, BTC-S37, that everybody and their brother sells. There's like so many brand names, quote unquote. I like the little bit here. Now I did get this from a US seller that actually had FedEx ground shipped to me. I got this in like 4 days. Off of eBay, and I'll link to that in the comments. And also the return address was on there with a phone number, which is nice. I have to Google that later to see, if it's a drop shipper or what. It's kind of what I'm guessing. But let's take a look at the board, the relevant part. It's a pretty thick piece of cardboard. I do like the fact that it has like umbrella and fragile. I don't know that up really matters. I don't know why that would matter. And why that would be up, because you'd really want it to lay flat. So the difference is here. Let me ground myself out on the board, on the cable outlet here. Should get rid of any static that I have. Ooh, nice. I don't know that was advertised as coming with the board, but this portends to good things. So let's cut here and get this plastic off and kind of look over the board here. That's very interesting, and I think I know why they did that, and that is a nice feature. And we're going to really dig into this board, maybe a little bit more with some different aspects. I'm going to answer some of the questions that I had, and I've watched pretty much all the videos on YouTube. So I'm going to answer some of my own questions about this, and maybe some of yours, and there'll be some tips. So this video is not going to be complete, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you'll get a notification when I come back with more data about this, because trust me, it's going to be there. Here's a funny joke. You're probably also looking at the case because I haven't figured out how I'm going to case this or frame this up yet, but I have too many cards for, believe it or not, my other video for my little Dell G5 5000 mining operations kind of grown, so I needed something better. And these boards with processor and everything that you need to run it, onboard video, everything you need to run it except for RAM and a boot device and power. I mean, well, okay, I guess it's not that much of everything. But point being, I can't even buy like a Celeron cheap low-end processor these days for basically what I paid for this board, which was like 190 something shipped. So anyway, let me cut here and get the plastic off and talk about this. All right, so this is kind of interesting that they had that in there because, oh, I know why this is in there, this little ATX piece. It's so that if you're running multiple power supplies, that will turn it on. This should be pin 4. Yeah, that's pin 4. So pin 4 to any ground. So this will turn on your secondary power supply when you plug in your primary power supply to this. Let's take a look at this. Does it have a little speaker? Remove seal after washing. Okay, that's interesting, that little seal right there, which is the PC speaker, the buzzer. and they've washed the board at the factory, and I don't think I'm gonna wash it. So that's what that's there for. So SODIMM slot, standard processor. This should be an integrated Celeron processor. Interesting, it's BTC-S37 version 1.1, which I have seen some of the boards on YouTube had an i3 on it, because the person making the video was in the BIOS and it showed that it was an i3. This should be a Celeron, and the specs that I read on it had a TDP of 17 watts. So the other reason this board is cheaper, because this should be a nice little moneymaker, because, even if you're running, or if you're running a regular size board with risers and all that, this should burn a lot less power. I want to say somebody measured the power, which should be doing in a later video. They'd measured the power, and it was only like 20 watts to run the whole thing, which makes sense. It's interesting too, this is actually a 4-pin header, so you could perhaps run a different processor on here. It'd be interesting to see. I don't know how much I'm gonna dig into this board, because like I said, I don't want to tear it up. It's a different version, because I believe the other videos that I've seen had a horizontal HDMI, but the other standard ports and stuff are there. 4 USB, we're not going to need that many. Let's see, auto on, which you shouldn't really need because there's a power button right there, the power switch. Tiny little heatsink for a chipset, and system fans 1, 2, 3, 4. All of this other stuff looks pretty standard. Now, one thing I did see some earlier boards with, they had connectors. They had the PCIe 6-pan connectors also at the end. This board, apparently, you only get those at the edge there. So 8 slots. Not too shabby. And the other thing about this board, if you're considering it, you don't have to pay for the risers. So even if you're getting those super cheap, like $5 or $6 each, that's $40 to $50 in risers alone, which you do not need. So that brings the effective cost down to $150, which I don't know if you've shopped anything lately. Anything new is not gonna be $150 for a board and a CPU. SODIMMs weren't too bad. I think it was under $30 for an 8 gig slot. That's all you need. Also on eBay, I ordered a couple of these. Those are not in yet. I ordered a couple of mSATA drives. I got 2 of those. 2 32 gig drives were like $11 shipped. You're basically in USB thumb drive territory, but the mSATA, even a used old one, should be pretty much as durable and certainly a lot faster. Failing that, there's a couple of SATA drives on board there, so you can run with what you want. All right, well, like I said, like and subscribe so that we can take a look at more stuff later. I'm just going to do some slow pans over the board here. Looks like SATA power. There's 2 white jacks there. That's some sort of weird SATA power there, brother. Anyway, let's see. Yeah, these are like, I want to say those are like ridiculously priced. They're like a few dollars. So, hey, another few dollars saved. I'm not seeing anything else worthy of mention on the board. One thing I am going to do later on is I'm going to apply power to one of these, and supposedly, I don't know if it was this version of the board or some of the others, all these power rails are connected. So if you had one here, then it made all these hot. And that can be bad if one of your power supplies failed and it was powering half the board. That means the other power supply would try and pick up the rest of it. So we'll probably talk about wiring up 2 power supplies that way, because I have a 650, I have a 500, which should power the stuff that I'm going to put in, at least in the short term. I'm going to start out just trying out a 1050 Ti in case anything blows up. The video or the eBay ad didn't show the battery, so that's included. So that's a nice another $1. I think that's about it. One thing I did want to mention is whenever you're picking this board up, like pick it up from this edge and then hold it the long way. I'll show what I'm talking about. Let me ground myself again so we don't zap this board. I would never pick this board up from the ends because it's such a long board. That's like my hand, three hand lengths. If I was going to pick it up, I'd pick it up from this side, and then when I'm maneuvering it, maneuver it from that aspect, and then try and obviously, just not to let it bow and bend. You're not going to move it that much, I guess, but if you thought you might, that's how I would pick it up. Because who knows how good the manufacturing is, but this actually, just looking at the board, it looks pretty clean, and like stuff is pretty well designed just on a broad overview. So anyway, that's about all I got for now, and we're not going to talk about some of the other stuff that other people talked about on their videos. I think I already said there's 4 system fans that you can run. There's your 4-pin. It'll be interesting. Notes to follow. There's always going to be notes in the comments too, as I learn other things, and I don't want to remake the video. There's going to be notes in the comments. So anyway, like, subscribe, give me a thumbs up, or make a comment so that you can track this stuff. I think that's about all I've got to say about that. It would have been nice if they'd maybe put some locks in there, but not super critical if you've got some sort of frame supporting them all. And there we go. All right, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and we will talk to you more about this board soon. I'm planning on starting it up with Hive OS. Should be a good time. Talk to you guys later.